Oh man, so Polkadot dot token is currently up about 20% from its lows as Bitcoin starts to show signs of reversing. We were expecting December of 2021 to really be a big moment for Polkadot given the launch of their first ever parachains and the auctions went through without any glitches, but Polkadot's price was still bleeding as Bitcoin struggled to the downside. Now that we're getting signs of a reversal from Bitcoin, could this mean the green light is open for Polkadot? Because we know one of the things we've been speaking about on this channel is when Bitcoin starts to show strength of recovering, the coins which come out of the gates quickly are those that have the attention. They have the mind space of institutional and sophisticated retail investors, and those are the ones we want to look out for. If you think of the analogy of an elastic band being pulled all the way back as we were bleeding, as Bitcoin was bleeding, this elastic band's getting pulled all the way. Now when the gates open, which one is going to fire out with the most potential to the upside? And they're the coins we're trying to identify and find on this channel. And Polkadot, as you guys know, is something we've been covering for a while. So let's take a look at the charts. Let's first look at Bitcoin, because as you can see here on Bitcoin, we really are starting to curl around now. If I just flip on over to the daily chart, just to get a daily view, you remember that I mentioned we had this super massive pattern, and I think we're the only really channel to cover this pattern. Is we were in this massive triangle pattern, and you can see here we broke to the upside, we ran to our all-time highs of about 69,000, and now we saw a massive 40% retracement. And I said that it could be that we're just collecting support from the top of this violet support line on the wedge, which is pretty interesting, because if you look when we zoom in now, and if I zoom back in and head over back to the 4-hourly chart, you will see that where we wicked was exactly on this wedge, right? Exactly on the violet wedge. You can see that's exactly where the ball started buying back in, and we eventually got this curling out with support around the 41,659 line and support around 43,000 and a half. Okay, so we can see Bitcoin is trying to reverse out now. We saw that the inflation figures came in at expectation, which has given the market some reason to be a bit more risk on, but in not massive rally territory, right? If inflation came in very low with a 6 in front of it, like a 6.3, a 6.4, 6.5, even a 6.7, we would have seen a strong rally in stocks, tech stocks, the NASDAQ, and we would have seen risk on for Bitcoin and therefore altcoins as well. But at 7, it was nothing to the downside. And if anything, it's going to help us slowly start to recover, because even though we're in an inflation-based environment, the market is happy that it was at expectations, which means the Fed and the economists understand what's going on, and therefore we feel more comfortable that the policies they're going to put into place will be relevant to what we're seeing, okay? The opposite would have been a mess, where they expect inflation at 7 and it comes in at 7.5 or 8. That would have panicked the market, and we would have seen further downside, which is why I mentioned our next lower support lines here on Bitcoin. But what does this mean for Polkadot? Because Polkadot has managed to break out of a critical pattern, which I want to share with you guys. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end. I'm going to just come into the Polkadot chart. And again, this was something we were covering a lot in the last quarter of 2021. You guys know this is a long-term hold for me. I continue to buy Polkadot at any signs of weakness, because for me, this is what you call a solid project. This is a project that has been there, done that, seen the test of time, and will continue to go from strength to strength. And for this to be at lower price points now than it was, prior to the first ever parachain happening, is to me almost criminal. Because you can see here we were forming our massive cup and handle pattern. We were covering this through 2021. You can see we created the handle pattern, broke to the upside, we're severely on our way to reaching our price target, all the way at $60. Things were looking pretty good, and then Bitcoin has its bleed, right? Bitcoin has its bleed, and you can see we retraced here on Polkadot quite substantially. Let's see if I can get the measuring tool. Can I? There we go. And you can see we've retraced all the way down to the bottom of the wedge there, about 60%, a very severe retracement here on Polkadot. And for me, there's nothing fundamental to illustrate why that would happen, right? There's no fundamental catalyst for why we should have retraced that much on Polkadot. If anything, Polkadot had one of the best quarters in terms of fundamental improvements, right? The team delivered on more of their white paper. They had the parachain auctions. We saw a whole bunch of Polkadot coins committed to amazing projects. If you haven't watched my video where I break down some of the best projects on Polkadot, click here, I'll link that up somewhere. So it was just going from strength to strength, and it seemed bizarre that this was one of those coins that just continued to bleed and couldn't show any strength. And now what we're finally seeing is here on the 4-hourly chart, we're seeing a breakout from our wedge. You can see here we're in this descending wedge, which we know the majority of the time breaks to the upside. It broke to the upside. We met our price target at the top of the wedge here, and now we're getting a little bit of resistance, as you would expect, kind of to get a little bit of a cooling off. If I bring out the EMA ribbon, you will see from the EMA ribbon that we have now managed to flip bullish. We were bearish going all the way back to the 5th of January. We're in this descending wedge, and now we've managed to flip bullish, which is fantastic. Next area for us to get to is maybe come down, collect some support from our EMA ribbon, even cool off a little bit to 20, 26 flat, or even 25 in a little bit, and then try head back up to these levels up here where we face resistance closer to $30. That's going to be our next level here on Polkadot. But longer term, guys, we've got a long way to go here on Polkadot. For me, we quickly need to get back to our all-time highs here at 54, and there's no reason we can't. We know that, was it the day before yesterday, we had news that Moonbeam successfully launched on the Polkadot network, being the first live parachain on Polkadot. This is not just rhetoric. This is not just theory. They've done it. They delivered on their white paper promise. They launched their parachains. They had successful auctions, and now the parachain is live on Polkadot, right? So people can actually go and hold the Glamour token, and they're continuing to do that, and they can vote on their governance. This is a live parachain, and you can imagine when they start onboarding the rest of them, they will all be able to interoperate between each other, and that is the aim of interoperability. And you guys know we cover Cosmos Atom on this channel as well. This is an important part of the next phase of blockchain technology and adoption. So definitely a huge project here in Polkadot. For some reason, the market is starting to understand now that as Bitcoin rotates up, we need to get into the strong plays, and that's why we're seeing certain projects, not all of them, really start to move. And we need to take heed from these clues because we want to be in those projects. Right now, you're getting a 60% discount still on Polkadot. Not financial advice. These are still low levels here on Polkadot, severely low levels here on Polkadot, compared to where it's been and where it can go here over the medium to long term. Super great project. Fundamentals are clean. Technicals are now looking nice here on the hourly. If we flip over to the daily, let's take a look to see our daily chart. And as you can see here on the daily, we are still bearish, okay? So what we haven't managed to do is break out from the downward trend here on our daily. So what we want to do is we need to see a higher high posted. That's why I said that $30 mark is going to be important. If we can create a higher high here on the 30 level, then we can start flipping our EMA ribbon, close a candle above the EMA ribbon, and start heading to our higher price targets of 37.70 at the next resistance line, and then heading higher. You guys know for longer term, my price target for Polkadot continues to be the pattern, which the number we originally had from our cup and handle pattern was 60, which also had confluence with our 1.272 Fibonacci level at $60. So I continue to hold a price target of at least $60, but longer term with the Fibonacci golden ratio, I expect us to get to $74 here on Polkadot. There's no reason why we can't here if the market continues to move, if Bitcoin moves, if Ethereum gets moving and creates that green space for some of these top projects to really start stretching their legs, because that's what we need to see over this next period. Is these projects need to graduate. The likes of Cardano, the likes of Solana, the likes of Polkadot, Phantom as well, they need to graduate and really start moving into their own and having, because we're already seeing the use cases, we're seeing the fundamental catalysts happening, we just need them to continue to crack on in that way. And when we see that, you will see a lot more of the sophisticated money really start to pile into these projects. There you go, guys. There is an update on Polkadot, and a look at the fundamentals and the technicals. As always, if you appreciate this blend, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to support this channel a little bit more. Don't forget to hit the join button. The join button will give you access to become a member of this channel. If you're a member of this channel, you'll get a special sticker next to your name. That way people know you were here in the early days. Also, you'll get a whole bunch of altcoin emojis which you can spam in the comments. But more importantly, guys, you'll get access to our community thread. And over there on that community thread, you'll be able to ask me questions on your favorite cryptos. So if you've got some cryptos you're looking at, some coins or your portfolio, feel free to head over into there and ask me questions as a priority, and I'll get back to you in there for members. For everybody else, guys, don't forget to hit the join button on our free public Discord server. That'll be in the pinned comment. The link to that is in the pinned comment below. As always, we have over 400 loyal crypto enthusiasts in there right now, talking about cryptos, talking about great projects, sharing their insights. Don't forget, you can tag me in questions in there as well, and just support this community. Really rapidly growing community, nice close-knit community, no hype, no BS, no this to the moon, that to the moon, just clean, hard technicals and fundamentals, trying to build wealth in crypto in a sustainable way. So if you appreciate that, check out the Discord, continue watching these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.